Greetings, I am Onyx, the head of Orton. I keep an eye on the multiverse and watch over those who live within. Sometimes I tell stories. Today I have journeyed to the Bolgosphere. Welcome to the Bolgosphere, the junk receptacle of the universe. The Bolgosphere was created by the child of the cosmic wanderer known as the Heron Suge. The Bolgosphere is composed of three main areas known as the outer ring, the inner ring, and the mouth. Floating land masses known as bolgomotes, along with various debris and junk which is vomited by the mouth, form the rings. These rings rotate slowly around the lid of the mouth. The outer ring rotates at a much slower rate than the smaller inner ring. It is within the rings that denizens of the Bolgosphere make their homes. The mouth of the Bolgosphere is a gaping maw from which various items, refuse, lost objects, and even some creatures enter into the Bolgosphere. Powerful winds emanate from the center of the mouth and move outward. These winds allow the rotation of the rings and create the strange moaning and howling sounds that fill the Bolgosphere. Within the Bolgosphere live a great many creatures, like the humanoid flame trolls, whose fists are hard as stone and whose breath is fire. The yellow and black-ringed Bolgo serpents, who breathe fire and live deep within the bolgomotes of the sphere. The powerful marbleheads, who dwell within their technologically superior spheres. The insect-like smeems, who eat everything they can find. The Bolgo dragons, great winged beasts of the Bolgosphere. These are the children of the Heron Suge. And the most notorious citizens of the Bolgosphere, the bogocats. Bogocats are four-eyed, fur-covered, telepathic monsters who hunger for power and violence. Although much of bogocat history has been destroyed by time, some remains. Let me tell you how the second age of bogocat, known as the Motherloaf, began. When the first age of Motherloaf ended, the bogocats were spread across the Bolgosphere. During this time, they were without direction, each living as a savage among the motes of the sphere. Lorocat of Glowmote was the first bogocat to take on the title of Superior Loaf. During his long lifetime, Lorocat re-established the loaf hierarchy of the bogocats. He ruled for nearly 3,000 years when he was killed and eaten by his brother, Spirocat. Spirocat of Glowmote and first ruler of the Orgo Empire was the second bogocat to take on the title of Superior Loaf. After murdering and eating his brother Lorocat, Spirocat took control of the Glowmote and conquered several surrounding motes with the help of the flame troll Broman and his Bolgosphere army. Spirocat then fashioned the eye crown of Lorocat and wore it to proclaim his status as the only superior loaf. During his rule, Spirocat established the Orgo Empire and ruled it for nearly 1,000 years. His reign came to an end when he was challenged to a fight by his longtime friend, Corncat. The two battled fiercely with claw and tooth. In the end, both bogocats lay dead. With the death of Corncat and Spirocat, the Orgo Empire was thrown into chaos as various minor loafs attempted to establish their own kingdoms within the old territory. This period became known as the Rule of Seven Loafs. Smocat, Reefcat, Banecat, Whizcat, Matcat, Roofcat, and Jankcat were the seven superior loafs who took power after the defeat of Spirocat and the collapse of the Orgo Empire. It was Jankcat who was the most powerful of the seven, and he seized the eye crown of Lorocat. It was Jankcat who was responsible for the discovery and release of the bogocat matriarch known as Motherloaf. Since the end of the First Age, Motherloaf had been imprisoned in a suspension sphere deep within the bolgomote called Flare. Jankcat believed that by freeing Motherloaf, he would be rewarded with a portion of her power. Motherloaf was the first bogocat created within the Bolgosphere. Legends say that Motherloaf is a child of the Heron Suge, the screwed-up evolution of the serpent's form. It is believed that from Motherloaf, all other bogocats were born. Shortly after the Heron Suge merged with the Bolgosphere, Motherloaf enslaved many denizens within the sphere and instituted the kingdom of the bogocats, where she reigned for thousands of years. This was the first age of Motherloaf, and her rule was a terrible time for all creatures within the sphere. Eventually, Motherloaf's own children, along with the flame trolls and other peoples of the Bolgosphere, rose up against her. Although they were unable to destroy her, they finally managed to imprison her within the suspension sphere at the center of the fiery Bolgomote called Flare. Many eons passed, and Motherloaf was forgotten until Jankcat found the Bolgocat palace called Cringe within the outer ring of the Bolgosphere. Hungry for power, and believing that by helping Motherloaf she would reward him, Jankcat freed her and was subsequently devoured. Motherloaf then returned to her throne on the Zenith Moat, where she gave birth to the Thousand Litter, which was responsible for populating the Bolgosphere with bogocats who reside there to this day. With the birth of the Thousand Litter, the second age of Motherloaf began.